31 days of project commissioning are done and dusted. The FCT minister is very happy, but not everyone is happy with him. And one of such people joins us on the program today to talk about areas that he feels have been neglected in this project commissioning drive and other areas of infrastructure, especially in our satellite towns, that need the attention of the FCT minister. We'll bring you that and more after we update you on the major stories this week from Nigeria's presidency. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Kayla Megwa. Let's begin with some of the major stories from Nigeria's seat of power. It's time for Abuja Wrap.
President Bola Tinubu has condemned the recent barbaric and cowardly act in Naridon village in Kamaru Ward, Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. The attack on innocent citizens in the early hours of Monday led to the killing of about 30 residents, including women and children, and the burning down of their houses. Describing the assault as an unprovoked act of terror against defenseless people, the president stressed that those who seek to destabilize the hard-fought peace and security which Kaduna State has enjoyed in recent times will not go unpunished. He extended his heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families as well as to Governor Ubasani, the government, and the entire good people of Kaduna State. President Bola Tinubu is committed to deepening the collaboration between the federal government and the Nigerian media. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this after leading the president's media team, including the heads of different agencies under the ministry, to a meeting with President Tinubu at the State House. The minister added that the media will continue to have the freedom to do their work. President Bola Tinubu has reiterated that his administration did not pay ransom for the release of the children and teachers kidnapped from Orire community in Ogbomoso, Oyo State. The president made this clear when he received a delegation of traditional rulers from the state led by the Olubadan of Ibadan land at the presidential villa in Abuja. The Olubadan, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, said the president's action in Oyo is a turning point in the issue of kidnapping in Nigeria.
We refused to negotiate for ransom, negotiate. These criminals wanted us to release from detention members of their criminal gangs that we were already arrested. That was one of their conditions outside of the money they're looking for. And we said, no deal. We are not going to negotiate with criminals. They committed murder. And we were ready to finish with their families and members of their own communities too.
The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency is calling for stronger collaboration between the government and the private sector to tackle Nigeria's high rate of maternal mortality. The executive director of the agency, Dr. Muye Aina, made the call at the Insights Learning Forum Digital Health Conference in Abuja. Dr. Aina believes that improving maternal health requires increased investment in quality primary health care services, better equipped health facilities, skilled birth attendants, and expanded access to life-saving maternal and newborn care.
For you to get to the scale that we need and quickly enough, you need all hands on deck. You need partnerships with the private sector. You need innovation and use of technology. And this is where this kind of gathering is very important. You need data from all of the work that we're doing. Analysis, visualization, and drawing of insights from the data.
Partnerships allows the right people, the right stakeholders, which we have seen includes government, private sector actors, academic institutions, implementing partners, development partners, community youth, women and girls. These are the most relevant stakeholders required. Now, the place of partnerships requires that these guys are aligned, well aligned. Their priorities, their interests are well aligned together. And most importantly, aligned towards what end? aligned towards the priorities of the government.
Welcome back. In our focus on the FCT this week, we remind you of the projects that have been commissioned in the past 31 days in commemoration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's third year in office. And these projects, of course, you know, have been commissioned by the FCT minister. Now, if you live around any of the places where these projects have been commissioned, we'd like to hear from you on how these infrastructure has helped your life. How has it helped your community? But here's a reminder of all the projects that have been commissioned in those 31 days. The projects include over 20 roads and highways, interchanges and flyovers at Gwarimpa Jahi Interchange, water projects like the Greater Abuja Water Supply, Karu and Bwari water schemes, a Court of Appeal complex and judges' quarters, the Abuja City Gate redesign and beautification, and roads across all 6 area councils. With all the projects commissioned, it was time to celebrate as the Federal Capital Territory Administration hosts guests at this dinner to mark the successful completion of the 31-day project commissioning and flag-off exercise. The special guest of honor, President Bola Tinubu, represented by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, is flanked by other top government officials. Goodwill messages filled the air with commendations for the FCT minister. Speaking on behalf of the contractors, Julius Berger Nigeria commends the FCT minister for creating an enabling environment that made the execution of the projects possible.
Honourable Minister, the Federal Capital Territory was conceived 50 years ago, and Abuja by that time was largely an expanse of bush and scattered rural settlements. Through vision, planning, and sustained investment, it has become one of Africa's finest purpose-built capitals. However, like every bigger city, Abuja has experienced periods of rapid progress and periods where momentum slowed down. Over the past decade, many residents felt the pace of infrastructure delivery and urban renewal had not kept up with the city's growth and aspirations. Under your leadership, sir, that momentum has returned with remarkable speed. Dormant projects have been revived, new projects initiated and completed, and communities across the territory are once again witnessing visible transformation. Congratulations.
For the host of the evening, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, the celebration was also an opportunity to render an account of stewardship. While acknowledging the support of President Tinubu, he challenged residents to hold him accountable for project delivery.
Please, do us a favor. It doesn't matter the group you belong to. It doesn't matter the association you belong to. You can be gay, you can be C, it can be D, it can be E. Challenge us that these projects were awarded under our tenure, when I mean our tenure, not our own tenure, their own tenure. And we abandon it. Come, challenge us. If we abandon, I have said here, the only project that was awarded in 2014, which is the ISA given to CGC. In fact, the one that was given to Joseph D6, D12, far back, as in 2009, as we came on board on our computer. Oh, so, and you know, we talk about empirical evidence. Seeing is believing. Most of the projects here were all abandoned. Mr. President directed, listen, we cannot continue with this. Go and finish before we award new projects. I'm happy. However, some state is happy. All the FCT, do you know, before you see civil servants, they committed working with you like this. They know the ESFCDA is making them. Yes, he's making them. He's happy that during his own time, projects have been completed. We came, the only one was not working. It was not working. They said, I wanted, no problem. Look at this place where we are. Look at where we are today. I know that when we finished the bill, Mr. President was to come to commission. People said, oh, Mr. President, you are not the one who built it. See where we are. Mr. Senate President, you were here. When we were to inaugurate ECOWAS Parliament, it was embarrassing to Mr. President. It was embarrassing to you. Just at this side table here, Mr. President called me, called you. What kind of this? How can Nigeria, as the heart of Africa, have this kind of thing? Today, see where we are. Because the point is, when you have a leadership that's focused, the leadership that's committed, you get the results.
Delivering the president's remarks, the president of the Senate says the Renewed Hope agenda is delivering results and called for continued support for the administration.
Nigerians are not merely hearing about development. They are driving on it. They are walking through it. They are living in it. That is how governance should be measured. And that was my promise to the nation, that I will bring renewed hope to Nigeria. This is the voice of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So for us here as legislators, we often pass appropriation bills, but every appropriation carries with it a sacred expectation that somewhere, somehow, the figures on the paper will translate into structures that will improve human lives. Tonight, we have seen what happens when budgets become bridges. We are seeing what happens when policies, such as the change in the policy direction of the administration of FCT, become pavements. We are now seeing where promises become realities and become projects in real.
With the last set of projects now commissioned and delivered, the FCT administration is promising to sustain the pace of infrastructural development and institutional reforms aimed at building a more efficient He says, yes, the FCT minister has done some work, but he says there are many things that haven't been done. And he hopes that the FCT minister will listen to some of the suggestions he has on where his infrastructure drive should go next. Please watch this. Mr. Eze Onyenkwere, welcome again to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the infrastructure drive of the FCT minister. Everyone has been talking about how he's doing very well, changing the Abuja city gate, the amount of road infrastructure. What do you make of the FCT minister's infrastructure drive and all the praise he's getting for the work he's been doing?
I think the critical challenge we have is that we are coming from a very, very low base. I mean, if the marks are 1 up to 100, and maybe the last person who occupied that seat could be scored roughly 10, 15. By the time we have somebody scoring 30, 35, which may not necessarily in an examination be a pass mark, but because we move from 10, 15 to 30, 35, we could say we are seeing some measurable changes. But whether those changes are enough is something that we need to interrogate, because when you use the word infrastructure, I hope we are not limiting it to a few roads and bridges completed at the city center. Because infrastructure goes beyond those roads and bridges. We also have other parts of Abuja in the neighboring areas, just a little bit outside the city center, which are thoroughly neglected. You have issue of water supply. How many parts of Abuja have pipe-borne water? I'm not talking of everybody sinking a borehole very close to a septic tank. That's not water that should be in towns. And of course, what could possibly be done to improve the supply of electricity to all parts of the town and the quality of the schools and hospitals. So there are so many things that are part of infrastructure which we may not be taking into cognizance as we say that completing the construction of a few routes. If you leave the city center, just get around the Gudu-Lokogoma axis. I recall that we have a place where a major supermarket is located, and the owner of the supermarket had to use his private money to construct about a 6 to 7 kilometer stretch. And even if the road is depreciating, nobody's talking about it. Go to the Lokogoma axis and see whether there are routes there. Even the routes are that on the map, nobody's constructing them. It's just the people who live in that environment that are contributing money in this day and age to tar routes, to even get to the extent of contributing money to put traffic lights. Okay, so yes, there could possibly be an improvement compared to what those guys who were simply warming the seat were doing before. But at the resources available to the FCT, the terms of goodwill, because it's even been the FCT was taken away from TSA by the president, which for me is not good enough, because it's like giving them the opportunity to do things that are not normal in fiscal balance. So why should you remove them from TSA when everybody's in TSA? What is TSA stopping you from doing if you want to do the right thing? So these are the questions. I don't want to join a crowd. When a man wakes up and to commission a project built at my tax money, not his personal money, he brings a band. And the band will be singing his name and praises. And you sit here to join the crowd. You could ask for a place in the band now so that you join and be singing a Wike. When the chorus comes, you sing Wike. But I don't think I'm part of such a brass band. It's abnormal. It's my taxpayers' money, and you are singing praises in your name because you did a little bit of your job. No, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
When it comes to infrastructure development in the suburbs, yeah, you've mentioned Lokogoma. Even in the last media chat, we brought up the issue of Lokogoma because a lot of people from there have been complaining about the deficit in infrastructure development in Lokogoma. He does say, as minister, he says he's focused. He does a few things in the satellite towns. You know, a major road in each satellite town. You know, and of course talking about schools and hospitals and how they've upgraded a lot of those schools and hospitals in the time that he's here. He's been FCT minister. He's saying that the work he has done is not enough.
Where are the schools and hospitals upgraded? Are they not the ones we see? I mean, the roads, everybody sees, okay, this road, Apo Road, this one is done. Where are these schools and hospitals upgraded? Where are they invisible? This is a man who
he said he doesn't really call the media. I remember he answered that question. He said he doesn't really call the media for those sorts of...
No. This is a man who doesn't miss any opportunity to praise himself. Where are the facilities for refuse and waste disposal in most of these parts of the city we are talking about? In the part I live, we still contribute money to dispose our refuse. Nothing. You see, what does government do for you? You pay money to tar the roads, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers of the road that leads to the main express. You provide your water. You provide your refuse disposal. You dispose your refuse. You provide your security. You pay for traffic light. And somebody is busy gloating. So those people living there do not pay tax. Or they are not Nigerian citizens. And you have not deported them. So there is so much to be done than just money. Abuja's money is not just for a few, like bringing Julius Berger to redesign the city gate. I didn't see any great architecture. I didn't see any great artistic creativity in what was done beyond maybe you are planting a few flowers here and there in that city redesign. I had expected to call on Nigerian sculptors and architects and creative people to, come on board. It's not a Julius Berger affair. To bring a peculiarly Nigerian cultural set of artifacts or set of designs that could have been there. Judges are entitled to adequate housing befitting of their status, just like every other Nigerian is entitled to the right to adequate housing. Now, the judiciary is supposed to be independent. If you go to the budget, the National Judicial Council has a vote. It's a first-line charge. And all the monies that run the judiciary should be with the judiciary. So if it's agreed that judges need houses, they are poorly housed, put the money in the NJC vote or the money going to the judiciary. Let the procurement people do the procurement process. Build houses for them. There is a difference between I have worked in the establishment I work. At the end of the month or where you work, I'm supposed they pay you here. The management of channels will not call the media and do a show expecting to get praises that they paid you for because you provided services. It's an exchange. That cash is a quantification of the services, the value they placed on you for the month. So these judges should have gotten these houses, cars, or whatever their entitlement as a matter of right. But it's now being presented that one benevolent man who saw that they were suffering, just like is reported in the Bible, Jesus saw the crowds and they were looming like sheep without shepherd, and he took pity on them and he began to minister to them. That's the way Wike and Tinubu are positioning themselves vis-a-vis the judges. That's not true. You're not taking pity on anybody. It's their right and entitlement as people belonging to that cadre. You don't finish building the house and then you now call them, bring your brass band again. You look at you, I don't know, you don't hear the music. They practice with his name.
You really don't like this music.
No, it's insulting. It's insulting. And in terms of overall security, we can afford to do more. Introduce technology. If possible, let there be more personnel recruited and posted to the FCT to man the nook and crannies. Okay? And then, of course, open up the system to interact more with citizens and build confidence so that people can relate more with the police and the security agencies. You know, all these other parts of the world we discuss, there's this feeling of the police is your friend or this one is your friend. So when you see a friend, you're more likely to be comfortable. But if you are seeing somebody and you are worried this person may harm you or he may stop money from you, that openness for collaboration is like you want to get away from him before he deals with you. So I think we need to improve. Something is going on, but it needs to be improved. You are the one constructing. You also want to write history. History should not be written by the actor. Just calm down. Do what you do. When you finish, somebody else will come and write the history.
I have to thank you so much, Mr. Ezonyakwere, for being with us on Dateline Abuja.
Thank me very well.
I will get a brass band.
And sing my song. Next time I'll teach you a song. I'll teach you a song so that when you finish, you sing this song and I will pat you on the head.
Thanks again for being with us on the program, and good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Thank you.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.